Welcome, everyone. Today, we are absolutely tearing down a massive misconception. If you still think of AI as just a one-time software project, like a model you train once and just leave sitting up in the cloud, well, it is definitely time to update your mental model. AI has fundamentally transformed. It's evolved into a permanent physical industrial process. In this explainer, we are going to unpack a truly fascinating master blueprint. We're going to look closely at how an entire nation, South Korea, is architecting its tech giants to operate as a single unified AI manufacturing ecosystem. So let's dive right in and explore the core of this material together.
Here is the architectural blueprint we'll be following today. 1. The AI paradigm shift. 2. New data sovereignty. 3. The 3 AI factories. 4. The hardware dual track. And 5. The completed AI ecosystem.
All right, starting with Section 1, the AI paradigm shift, from static to flywheel.
So the core problem with how we used to build intelligence is visualized perfectly right here. Under the old paradigm, which we call static AI, you'd basically do this massive one-time training run on static, internet-scraped data, and then you deploy the model, and that was kind of it. It was a linear supply chain where growth eventually just hits a wall and plateaus. But the new paradigm, flywheel AI, operates entirely differently. It is a dynamic, living reality. The model is continuously absorbing real-world physical feedback, capturing failure data, and rapidly retraining itself. It's not just a software model anymore, it's a living, breathing system.
You can see that old linear progression over on the left. Train, deploy, stop. But I want you to look at that green loop on the right. The system architecture has completely shifted into this organic loop that permanently connects the AI model, the computing infrastructure, and the real-world physical field. It's quite literally a system of eternal circulation.
Moving right along to Section 2, new data sovereignty, hyper-localized data.
Sovereign Data 2.0 acts like a localized shield. Think about it. It isn't about spending billions of dollars to build a brand new foundation model from scratch just to compete with the global tech giants. That's the old way. Instead, the strategy here is to take those incredibly powerful global open models and heavily customize them using hyper-localized proprietary data. The new battleground for AI supremacy isn't just about having the largest parameter size anymore. It's all about ultra-precise, post-training localization.
Now, you might be wondering, how do they generate all that local data? Enter the persona generation engine. This is where it gets wild. Using dry national statistics, things like demographics, housing types, and income brackets, this engine synthesizes 1 million perfectly accurate digital citizens. This allows developers to test exactly how an AI agent will respond to, say, a 70-year-old rural resident versus a 20-year-old urban worker. It trains the AI on incredibly complex intersectional scenarios, and it does the whole shebang without ever violating anyone's personal privacy.
And then we have the Seoul World Model. They took 1.2 million panorama images of Seoul's alleys and intersections to build the physical digital twin you see mapped out here. By moving far beyond just static text, they've created a vital, localized simulation ground. It allows physical robotics to understand real-world things, like spatial layout and traffic flow, in a uniquely Korean environment.
Okay, Section 3, the 3 AI factories, a unified ecosystem.
Notice the continuous flow of those green arrows operating in an organic loop across this massive macro machine. Over on the right, the data factory acts as the problem generator, and that feeds directly into the computing factory on the left, which acts as the engine. That engine then outputs learned intelligence down into the physical validation factory for a crucial reality check.
Let's break down these 3 specific pillars. On the left, we've got Naver operating the data factory, utilizing those synthetic personas we talked about to generate scarce, hyper-localized data. Right in the center, the SK group runs the computing factory, supplying massive power through glowing server stacks. And over on the right, Hyundai runs the physical validation factory, deploying these models straight into robots and harvesting real-world physical failure data.
Let's actually zoom in on Hyundai's physical validation edge case flywheel for a second, because the core asset here is fascinating. It's physical failure. When a robot drops apart because of weird factory lighting or unexpected friction, that failure is an unscrapable, highly proprietary asset. You literally cannot download that data from the internet. Only a massive industrial operator physically encounters these edge cases.
So here's how they cure that failure step by step. In Phase 1, the robot hits the reality wall and fails. In Phase 2, those exact physical parameters are recreated digitally in a virtual simulation. Moving to Phase 3, the environment is tweaked to create tens of thousands of synthetic variations of that one specific failure.
which lets the model mass train on all possible edge cases. And finally, in Phase 4, that cured intelligence is redeployed right back into the physical robot. The loop is permanently closed.
Next up, Section 4, the hardware dual track, powering the flywheel.
Here we can directly compare South Korea's brilliant dual-access hardware strategy. On Axis 1, the green pillar, you've got the general AI platform. This is where SK Hynix co-develops vital high-bandwidth memory directly with NVIDIA to prevent GPU bottlenecking for broad, versatile workflows. But right alongside it, on Axis 2, the blue pillar, you have Samsung and Broadcom partnering to create hyper-optimized custom ASIC silicon. These custom chips are designed to execute specific inferences billions of times at the absolute lowest cost. It's a dual-track strategy that powerfully illustrates their geopolitical leverage in both general and custom hardware markets.
And finally, Section 5, the completed AI ecosystem, a unified macro machine.
Follow the orange data flow line, weaving its way through this entire ecosystem. A Hyundai robot encounters a physical edge case. That data flows straight to Naver, who generates millions of synthetic simulations using their digital twins. That massive retraining workload is then processed by SK's colossal 2-gigawatt AI factory, which, by the way, uses enough electricity to power a medium-sized city, all fueled by Samsung and SK Hynix memory. The updated model is academically verified and pushed right back to the factory floor. Physical steps, data flows, compute processing, and validation, seamlessly integrating across different corporate giants in a single geographical cluster. It's incredible.
We are truly witnessing a profound evolution here. By combining silicon and memory, data and models, infrastructure operations, and physical applications, South Korea possesses every single component of the AI lifecycle right within its borders. They have shifted from being a fragmented supplier of disparate tech parts to being the primary integrated operator of the global AI evolution system.
Which leaves us with a truly fascinating takeaway to wrap up this explainer. The future of AI supremacy is no longer defined by who has the largest language model. It's defined by the speed at which you can continuously loop data, compute, and physical reality. So, I will leave you with this to ponder. What happens to the global balance of power when the ultimate competitive moat isn't just a clever software algorithm, but an entire nation operating as a single, perfectly integrated, self-sufficient AI factory? Thank you so much for joining me to decode this incredible blueprint.